toca la clave. Suena el bombo.
The organization Pilsen Neighbors Community Council was established in 1954 in this community when it was a community mostly populated by Eastern European families. Over the years and traditionally through migration, became a Mexican-American community. So Pilsen Neighbors at that time was a social service agency that now has become a community organizing organization and has been doing work around education, immigration, job and workforce development that has engaged members of the community. Well, like I had mentioned, immigration is a major component, as well as education has taken a strong lead in this community.
Our organization, our community organizing organization, was organizing an issue around creating a high school in the neighborhood. That high school is Benito Juarez High School, which is right across the street, and we were successful in that, in winning that issue and winning, getting granted the high school as a celebration, with parents and community activists and really everyone who worked on this campaign. We had a block party to celebrate, and that's how Fiesta del Sol was born. And now, 41 years later, Fiesta del Sol is the number one, fundraiser for Fiesta del Sol, for Pilsen Neighbors Community Council. It is our Pilsen Neighbors Community Council self-sustained, so the majority of our funding comes from Fiesta del Sol, and so we've been able to do that for the last years.
It's an honor to be here with you again tonight, because for as long as I can remember, Fiesta del Sol has been a part of my life. But imagine for 1 minute, about 41 years ago, this community was in the middle of an organizing struggle. Does anybody remember that? There's a few people who remember that. And that was a very important organizing struggle because that fight was for the construction of a new high school. And you are now seated in the addition to that high school that was fought for 4 years ago. Tengo orgullo en esta comunidad. Que gracias a los líderes que formaron parte de esta visión y lucha para una educación mejor en esta comunidad. On behalf of Principal Ocon, on behalf of the whole Juarez community and family, we welcome you here tonight.
They go to fund our organization, fund the community organizing work. Pilsen Neighbors Community Council works on 4 issues: the immigration reform, education reform, healthcare, and workforce development. So all of that goes towards our budget and also towards a scholarship program, the Fiesta del Sol Scholarship.
Years ago, you were courageous enough to do things like renting a U-Haul truck, run through and drive through the alleys and fill it up with trash, and use the trash to block the street to say, we must have our own high school. And nothing was established. Because that's the kind of courage, that's the kind of legacy that we have. Una gente bien, con mucho valor, con mucho honor, con mucha visión. Y esta es nuestra historia. Y por eso sabemos que podemos seguir y que podemos realizar mejor. We know because of what we get to celebrate, that we will be victorious, that we will be successful, that we will be a comprehensive immigration reform.
As a committed parent and president of the Academy of Parents in Leadership, I know there's a lot of work to be done to address the social inequality around the public education, immigration, and good paying jobs for people in our community. Serious overcrowding problems in our schools and the lack of teachers, social workers, nurses affect the quality of education for our children. Why do we leave children in our community behind? Why is that even an option? We have to work. As a community, we need to work with our schools district to find ways to address the lack of investment in our neighborhood schools. So I invite parents to join Apple so that together we form a historic movement to transform the school. Starting right here, with ourselves, with our community.
And the power of possibilities. And this is the evidence. Esto representa el poder de la comunidad y el poder de posibilidades para obtener logros. Community schools like Juarez have to connect to daily lives and experiences. Community schools integrate school, family, and community for educational success. And it's not only the quality of the classroom, it's what happens inside and outside of the school. All of our scholarship recipients have developed an academic identity that begins with a cultural identity. How you perceive yourself as a learner, and how do you connect to your school, to your teachers, to your principals, to your community. All of these elements are critical. And in community education, it's a matter of autonomy because we have to be part of the decision-making process. It's self-help and it's the integration of resources to make it happen. And again, we have our sponsors and we have our students. In education, we are idealists and optimists, but we must have an action plan. Pilsen Community Council, Juarez, Gamaliel are making it happen. Gracias.
It continues to be a family-oriented, family-friendly event. What has changed is the number of people, location to accommodate. Just the I think what has also changed is that a lot of young people have. Fiesta del Sol has been around for this is the 41st year. And so Fiesta del Sol has really evolved to the point that there's a lot of young people. And it's amazing to see how they come and they take this pride and ownership of an event that they helped put together. In the past, it was smaller. It was more family run, cohesive, colorful. It allowed a lot more for creativity. Like the first fiesta had big jarrones of flowers, and it was, I think because it was smaller, you felt like you didn't get lost in it. And it was just, you felt like it belonged to you, like it was your fiesta. And you still feel that way today. It's just that it's blocks and blocks, and so it's a walk, and it's a very it's a long walk, but one that you forget because that it's a long walk because there's so much to see, so many people still. What has not changed about Fiesta del Sol is that when it was small, you knew everybody, but now that it's so big, you still know almost everybody because that's the place that people come to see each other.
Fiesta del Sol is always the last weekend of July. This year, July 25th through the 28th. So always begins on a Thursday evening, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
And how many people would you say, in your experience, on average, come to celebrate Fiesta del Sol?
Over the last few years, it's been a while. Over the last few years, we've always been quoted at over 1 million people. Last year, it was 1.3 million people. I think our all-time record has been 1.5 million people from the Chicago Police Department.